Hey there! Welcome back to the Speak English podcast. I'm David, and if this is your first time here, we're all about helping you speak English with confidence and ease.
And I'm Sarah. Thanks for having me again, David. I always love these episodes because it feels like we're just hanging out and chatting with our awesome listeners.
Exactly. Today's topic is one I think many learners will relate to, because, let's face it, most of us were taught to focus on grammar. But what happens after that?
That's right. We'll show you how to practice English in real life with 5 simple tips that go way beyond grammar. And they might just change how you learn forever.
So if you've ever felt stuck or like you're not improving fast enough, stick around. What we're about to share could unlock a whole new level of fluency for you.
And while you're here, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Every week we share tips, tools, and practice ideas to help you speak English more naturally.
All right, let's dive in and explore what it really means to practice English, not just study it. These 5 tips are practical, powerful, and easy to apply today.
Whether you're a beginner or advanced, this episode will help you see English in a new way. So let's jump right into it and get started with our first tip.
When people study English, they often believe that grammar is the most important part. They spend years memorizing rules and doing exercises, but when it's time to speak, they freeze or can't find the right words. That's because knowing grammar doesn't automatically mean you can use English.
Exactly. What many learners don't realize is that fluency comes from using the language, not just understanding it. It's like learning to ride a bike. You can read all about it, but until you get on the bike and fall a few times, you won't really know how to ride.
This is where our approach comes in. We want you to go beyond theory and move into practice. We're talking about simple, daily actions that make English feel like a natural part of your thinking, not something you have to translate or decode every time you speak.
Practicing beyond grammar means you train your brain to respond in English automatically. You don't wait to remember the rule. You already know how the sentence sounds and feels because you've said it 100 times before, in real life or in your practice sessions.
It's not about being perfect or speaking like a native. It's about building confidence and fluency by actually doing the thing. You're trying to learn. If you only study, you may understand, but you won't be ready to use it in a conversation when it matters most.
That's why these 5 tips are so important. They show you how to turn passive study time into active learning. You'll practice the way children do, by speaking, repeating, experimenting, and making the language part of your life, not just a school subject.
And you don't need special tools or a classroom. You can apply these tips anywhere, at home, during your commute, while walking, or even thinking to yourself in English. The key is to practice intentionally and consistently, not only when you feel ready.
It also means changing your mindset. Stop thinking of English as a puzzle to solve and start treating it like a tool to use. Grammar is just one piece of that tool, but what really matters is how often and how naturally you use the language in your daily life.
You'll notice that the more you practice in real contexts, the easier it becomes to understand and produce English. Your grammar improves naturally too, but more importantly, you develop the ability to communicate. And that's what fluency is all about.
So, practicing beyond grammar is not a trick or shortcut. It's a mindset shift. It's about moving from learning about English to living in English. The goal is to build habits that help you speak more, listen more, and engage more. Because that's how real progress happens.
Let's say you come across a phrase like, "I can't wait." Most people might just read it once and move on. But what you should do instead is take that phrase and start using it in different situations like, "I can't wait to eat," "I can't wait for Friday," or "I can't wait to see my friends."
Exactly. When you repeat that phrase in different contexts, you create a deeper connection with it. You stop seeing it as just a grammar structure and start feeling how it's used in real life. The repetition is what builds that natural fluency we're aiming for here.
Another way to practice is by turning your environment into your classroom. For example, if you're making coffee, say out loud, "I'm making coffee now. I need more sugar." Or, "This mug is my favorite." Speaking about what you're doing helps build reflexes in English.
One of my favorite tricks is shadowing. You listen to a native speaker saying something and you repeat it immediately. Same tone, same rhythm, same pronunciation. It trains your ears and mouth to work together, and you get used to how natural English sounds.
Also, imagine small situations in your mind and narrate them in English. For instance, picture yourself calling a friend and saying, "Hey, I just got home." Or, "Do you want to hang out later?" You're not just memorizing, you're living the language inside your head.
I often tell learners to describe objects around them. Just pick anything, a lamp, a notebook, a chair, and start talking about it in English. This notebook is new. The lamp is bright. My chair is really comfortable. It's simple, but it builds vocabulary and fluency.
And don't worry if you make mistakes while doing these things. That's part of the process. What matters is that you keep speaking and using English. You'll fix those mistakes naturally over time as you keep practicing and hearing the language being used correctly.
One more powerful practice is asking and answering your own questions. Try things like, "What did I do today?" "I went to the market." "What am I doing now?" "I'm listening to a podcast." This kind of self-talk builds fluency even if you're practicing alone.
The great thing is, you can do all of this without a textbook. You don't need perfect grammar to say, "I'm hungry," or "I'm going out now." These short, natural phrases are what make conversations flow, and practicing them helps you speak without hesitation.
So as you can see, real practice is about using the language with your voice, your body, your mind. It's not about memorizing rules. It's about speaking, repeating, and living English in small moments throughout your day. That's how fluency is built, one habit at a time.
When you move beyond just studying grammar and start practicing English in real situations, you build real confidence. You stop second-guessing everything you say and start trusting yourself to communicate, even if you're not perfect. That shift alone is a game changer.
You also begin to notice that your brain starts thinking in English more often. Instead of translating from your native language, words and phrases start coming to you naturally. That automatic response makes your speech more fluent and your communication smoother.
Another great benefit is that your listening skills improve fast. When you're actively using the language, your ears become more sensitive to natural expressions, pronunciation, and rhythm. It becomes easier to follow conversations, podcasts, and real-life speech.
And let's not forget vocabulary retention. When you use words in your own sentences and connect them to real-life situations, you remember them longer. It's not just memorization. It becomes part of your active vocabulary, ready to use whenever you need it.
Practicing this way also reduces your fear of making mistakes. The more you speak and experiment with English, the more comfortable you become. You realize that making mistakes is just part of learning, not something to avoid. And that mindset boosts your progress.
One of my favorite benefits is that it makes learning feel more fun and less like homework. When you speak about your life, your thoughts, your routines in English, it becomes a part of who you are, not just something you study. That emotional connection helps a lot.
You also become more adaptable in conversations. Instead of getting stuck when you don't know a word, you learn to explain things in another way or find similar phrases. This flexibility is a major sign of fluency, and it only comes through real practice.
With time, you'll see that grammar starts to make more sense too, but not because you memorized rules. It's because you've seen and used those structures so many times that they become intuitive. That's the kind of learning that lasts. and works in real life.
Another powerful benefit is that your speaking becomes more expressive. You start using intonation, stress, and emotion naturally. That makes your English more engaging and clear, and helps you connect better with the people you're talking to.
And probably the biggest benefit is freedom. You gain the ability to express yourself whenever and however you want. You don't feel trapped by grammar or frozen in fear. You just speak, and that's what fluency is really about. Feeling free to be yourself in English.
The first step is to choose a phrase or sentence that you've heard recently in English. Something simple like, "That sounds good," or "I'll be there soon." Don't just understand it. Repeat it several times out loud and imagine using it in a real conversation.
Once you've repeated the phrase, create at least 3 different sentences with it. Try saying, "That sounds good for dinner," "That sounds good to me," or "That sounds good on paper." The more variety you add, the stronger your memory becomes.
Next, take those phrases and say them out loud during your day. You can do it while cooking, walking, or looking in the mirror. The key is to speak, not just think. Say the words out loud, clearly, even if no one is listening. That's real speaking practice.
Then, record yourself saying those phrases. Yes, it might feel strange at first, but it's a powerful tool. Listening to your own voice helps you notice pronunciation, rhythm, and areas where you can improve. Plus, it builds confidence fast.
After recording, play it back and repeat the sentences again, correcting small mistakes or improving the way you say them. You don't need to be perfect, just consistent. Repetition adds a layer of fluency to how your brain and mouth work together.
Another great step is to ask yourself daily questions and answer them in English. Things like, "What did I do today?" or "What will I eat for lunch?" This simple habit helps you train your thoughts to come out in English, without overthinking every word.
You should also pick a short moment of your day, like brushing your teeth or making coffee, and describe everything you're doing in English. "I'm turning on the water." "I'm brushing my teeth now." "This coffee smells amazing." Turn routines into practice.
Add a quick review at the end of each day. Just spend 2 minutes thinking or saying aloud what phrases you practiced. This quick reflection helps reinforce what you learned and prepares your mind for more confident speaking tomorrow.
Make this a daily practice, not a once-in-a-while thing. Even 5 to 10 minutes a day will have a big impact over time. Fluency is not about cramming.
And remember, you don't need a perfect study plan to do this. You just need to show up for yourself every day, speak out loud, and use the English you already know. Step by step, you'll stop studying English and start speaking it naturally.
One of the biggest mistakes learners make is waiting until they feel ready to speak. They believe they need to study more, learn more grammar, or build a bigger vocabulary before they start. But fluency doesn't come from waiting. It comes from doing.
Another common mistake is being afraid of making mistakes. People stay silent because they don't want to sound wrong. But mistakes are part of learning. In fact, the faster you allow yourself to make them, the faster you'll grow and speak with confidence.
Many learners also rely too much on passive activities, watching videos, reading books, or listening to podcasts, without speaking out loud. These are great tools, but mouth. And speaking needs both.
A big problem is translating everything from your native language before speaking. This slows you down and causes confusion. Instead, you should train your mind to think in simple English sentences. Start small, be clear, and speak, even if it's not perfect.
Another mistake is obsessing over grammar accuracy. Learners often freeze mid-sentence trying to remember a rule. But in real conversations, people care more about understanding than perfect grammar. Communication always comes first. Perfection can come later.
Some learners compare themselves to others and feel discouraged. They think, I'm too slow, or my accent is bad. But comparison kills motivation. Your journey is unique. Focus on your own progress, step by step, and celebrate the small wins every day.
Practicing only in formal ways is another trap. People write essays, fill out worksheets, and memorize word lists, but never practice casual. Get comfortable with natural speech, small talk, and everyday expressions.
A lot of people also quit too soon. They try a new method for 1 week, don't see instant results, and give up. But fluency takes time. The key is consistency. Progress happens when you keep showing up, even on the days when it feels slow or difficult.
Some learners believe they need a native speaker to practice, and that's just not true. You can practice English alone with your voice, your environment, or online content. Speaking to yourself is real practice. You don't need to wait for a partner to begin.
Finally, one of the most limiting mistakes is thinking that grammar equals fluency. Grammar is helpful, sure, but if you're not using the language regularly, it stays locked in your head. The only way to unlock it is to speak, repeat, and use it every day.
All right, here's a simple challenge for you, and you can start it right after this episode. Choose just one short "sounds good" or "I can't wait." Now, let's turn that into real practice.
First, say that phrase out loud at least 5 times. Don't just whisper it. Speak clearly, with energy. Pay attention to how your mouth moves and how it feels to say the sentence. This helps build your muscle, memory, and your confidence.
Next, create 3 original sentences using that phrase. Make them real and personal. For example, I can't wait to travel. I can't wait for the weekend. I can't wait to try that new recipe. Use your imagination and connect it to your real life.
After that, record yourself saying those 3 sentences. You can use your phone or any app. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is just for you. When you play it back, you'll notice things you can improve, and you'll feel proud that you actually spoke English today.
Then repeat the entire process tomorrow, but with a new phrase. If you do this every day for just 5 minutes.
And here's an extra tip. Say the phrase throughout your day. Use it while brushing your teeth, making coffee, or walking to work. Repeat it in your mind and out loud. The more natural it becomes, the faster your brain will switch into English mode.
If you feel stuck or can't think of a new phrase, just replay part of this episode and borrow one we've used. You don't need a big list. In fact, 1 phrase a day is more powerful than trying to memorize 20 you'll never use.
Keep it simple and don't overthink. Your goal isn't perfection. It's daily exposure and active speaking. The more you speak, the more confident you become. The words you repeat today will be the words you use tomorrow without thinking.
And if you want to stay motivated, keep a small notebook or app where you write down the phrase you practiced each day.
So that's your challenge. 1 phrase, 3 sentences, 5 minutes a day. No excuses, no stress, just small steps that lead to big results. And if you try it today, leave a comment below and tell us what phrase you chose. We'd love to hear it.
Today we talked about something that goes way beyond grammar. Real practice. We shared 5 simple tips that help you train your brain to think in English, speak with confidence, and build fluency by making English part of your everyday life.
We also showed you how to practice in a natural way, using phrases that connect to your daily routine. From repeating short sentences to shadowing and recording your voice, every action builds muscle memory and makes English easier to use.
More importantly, we talked about common mistakes that slow people down, like waiting to be perfect, fearing mistakes, or depending too much on textbooks.
And we gave you a challenge that takes just 5 minutes a day. 1 phrase, 3 sentences, and your voice. That simple practice, done consistently, will help you speak English more clearly, naturally, and without the pressure of being perfect.
If this episode helped you understand how to practice English more effectively, let us know in the comments. What tip stood out to you the most? Or what's one thing you're going to start doing differently from today forward? We'd love to hear it.
And hey, if you made it all the way to the end of this episode, it means you're really serious about improving your fluency. So type the word easy in the comments so we know you're one of the motivated ones who finishes what they start.
Don't forget to hit the like button if you got value from this episode. It helps us reach more English learners around the world and gives us the fuel to keep bringing.
And of course, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Your fluency journey doesn't stop here, and we're excited to keep helping you speak English with more freedom, confidence, and joy. See you next time.